So Oregon's quarterback room is among the best in all of college football. You've got Dillon Gabriel as the starter. You got Dante Moore as the backup. But so too is their future plan at the quarterback position. Dante Moore, probably the leading candidate to start in 2025. Austin Novosad will push for that. You've got Luke Moga on the roster, who's a freak athlete. You've got Akili Smith Jr. in the class of 2025. And yet Oregon doesn't feel at this point in time, Brian, like that is enough because former, I think, SMU commit, or SMU is at least involved in the pursuit of four-star quarterback Ty Hawkins in the class of 2025. And I did not have a second quarterback commit on my bingo card for Oregon this cycle, Brian. What do you make of the reports that Hawkins is considering Oregon?
I'm surprised you know what bingo is at your age, but that's definitely not your generation.
Oh, not yet.
Fair enough. I don't know what they're doing. The only thing I can think is they expect at least one guy to leave. Like already. I have no idea who it is, but like, why are you taking another one? As for the player himself, he's very good. I've seen him multiple times. Incredibly accurate. He's a very mature kid, well-spoken. He's the kind of guy you want to represent your program. Plays in Texas. He was at OT7 recently. Like, he's a really good football player. I don't think he's going to flip. He's a little different breed in terms of like his mentality, but I get why schools would want him. To put it in perspective of his style, he reminds me like an advanced kid you would see at Texas Tech, like year 3. Not that necessarily the biggest guy, but he'll make the first guy miss. He extends plays and he annoys you to death because on third down, he's money. Hawkins plays that way now, and he can throw it all over the field. He doesn't care what the moment is. He has even keel personality, his demeanor, same dude all day. You don't see a lot of teenagers like that in general, and it's great to have it with your quarterback. So I'm a big fan.
So he's currently committed to SMU, right?
TCU.
TCU, but SMU and Oregon are the schools that are reportedly going to be able to get a visit. And as you mentioned earlier in the show with Zaire Addison, who had UCLA as the leading school until he went on a visit to Oregon. And as you said before, the Ducks have a propensity to have great visits. They do. And so when you get a guy of that caliber on campus, you certainly have an opportunity to make that sort of impression, even more so with the Ducks, especially if you go there this time of year when Eugene is just absolutely gorgeous, and Oregon in the summertime, as it's where I'm living, is absolutely amazing. So I want to go back to the quarterback discussion, because when you've got Luke Moga in there, who is maybe a little bit more undeveloped as a passer, but as we saw in the spring game, is a freak athlete. He had a play. I don't know if you saw it, Brian. He hands the ball off. It's around the 50-yard line. Running back veers to the right, runs into the wall, doesn't get tackled, cuts back to the left, breaks into the open field. He's darting right through the secondary. Luke Moga tracked him down from behind. He was behind the play. He just handed the ball off. It wasn't even really a zone read. He was out of the television screen, and as the running back is going in to the end zone, here comes Luke Moga to support his guy, just catching him from behind. And you're going, well, you're like, that's a quarterback? I don't know how you do it. So when I look at the quarterback room, I'm just pondering, like, which of these guys, maybe it's Austin Novosad because they brought in Dante Moore. He'd certainly be the most likely candidate to leave. But do you think there is a chance that Oregon at any point in time has 5 scholarship quarterbacks on their roster? Because that to me would feel like too many.
They will have 3 and at most 4 by the end of December.
This December.
There's no way. Like 3 is a high number anymore. It really is. Kids just won't wait. And especially like with Dante being next in line, like the chances of Novosad sticking around, if he does, I think are maybe 10%. And there's nothing you can do about it. You know, if he doesn't beat Dante, whoever wins that battle stays, and who doesn't leaves. And here's the other part. If it's Dante and he's as good as I think he can be, I thought he was the best player in that class, period. He'll play his junior year, then he'll turn pro. Then where are you if you was him end up? Like, that's what they're worried about. Because you can have all these other players. You can be great everywhere else. But if you stink at quarterback, you'll be 8-4 out of the playoffs with a roster. Otherwise, it could make a deep playoff run. I mean, it's just part of football. Sometimes coaches get caught in bad spots, and they might. When you have a quarterback turn pro early, it really upsets the apple cart. So I guess they're just trying to put as many bullets in the gun as they can. And if one of those guys leaves and then Dante takes off too, you probably got to go portal. And I know that doesn't work really well with young kids, but you're not going to take a playoff level team and let's just throw out a first year sophomore or something. That's probably not what Dan's going to do. So you win and you lose with 5-star kids because they turn pro early. Ask LSU. They've had some wild swings with that over the years. So it's part of the game, though. Kids turn pro. You try to replace them the best you can, and it is what it is.
Do you think Oregon going after Ty Hawkins says anything about Akili Smith Jr., who is, of course, a really talented kid? He's been getting some accolades and praise from, these camps and recruiting services and whatnot. He's, of course, a legacy at Oregon. I know there are plenty of fans that are excited at the prospect of one day having Akili Smith Jr. as a starting quarterback for the Ducks. It's entirely possible, but if Hawkins came in, they would then be in the same class. Do you think that would scare Akili Smith Jr. off at all?
That's a legacy thing. And when I met him last summer at Future 50 in Florida, I didn't get the sense that he was worried about anything other than just getting better. I doubt it. I mean, he could go somewhere else. I mean, as far as I know, he could go to Fresno State, but I would imagine Oregon's going to be pretty hard to beat when your dad is who your dad is. They'd have to screw up his recruitment. I'm assuming they have talked to him about this because you don't want to blindside a kid with it. That would be the one way you can completely screw this up.
Yep.
So believe me, there are coaches dumb enough not to make that phone call in advance. I've plenty of those stories for another day, but I don't think Oregon and Dan are that way. Dan's a very savvy guy. He has a plan with recruiting. I'm guessing they've said something to Akili. Just my opinion, and I bet he signs with Oregon.
I would be pretty shocked if, Akili Smith first found out that Hawkins is taking a visit on Twitter. That would
not go well.
That would not go over well, but neither you nor myself expect that to be the case. This episode is brought to you by Game Time. Game Time makes getting NBA Finals tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to tip-off. They've got killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee. All that, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets. You can save up to 60%, which last time I checked is more than half, off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, etc. You can save even more with exclusive in-app deals on select seats ahead of the game or event. Whatever you want, Game Time has got it. Take the guesswork out of buying NBA Finals tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE. That's Locked On College, all one word, for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.